the runts, the city of God. Impoverished, cramped conditions, tatty clothes, and weak. In the end, they are the ones with the power, regardless of age, simply because they are the ones that hold the gun. The beach scene in City of God. In this scene, we can see the only really happy times in the favelas. The scene includes many long and wide shots of the beach, and so the audience can clearly see the contrast to the cramped conditions of the favelas. The mise-en-scène of the beach is also a lot brighter, suggesting it is one of the only, scenes where the teenagers feel at peace and safer than in the favela. In the scene where Saeed talks to his sister, we can see that the youths of the banlieue are skipping school and hanging out smoking and drinking instead. This shows us the youths have no motivation to get an education.
Why aren't you in school? Oh my god, whatever, so embarrassing, lol.
Can they be seen as youth films, Haine? The influence of American culture, e.g. clothes and references to Taxi Driver, the iconography of international youth culture, the film's central characters are free youths, form of alienation from an adult audience as the youths are likely to be opposed to figures of authority. The film attracted a young audience in particular at the time, possibly because they felt a connection to the story.
How far can City of God be seen as a youth film? In City of God, characters are presented with a lack of education and opportunity. Most of the young people are associated with guns and drugs. They are easily corrupted by power and they seem trapped in an endless cycle of criminality. Gangs seem important in youth culture. Belonging to a gang gives a sense of identity. In City of God, there's a negative representation of the runts as mischievous, and it could mirror social anxieties revolving around youth culture in Brazil. Almost all of the characters in the film are young people, could be targeted more for them. In terms of Haine, the film can be seen to give a voice to the people of the banlieue. The film shows off just how horrible the conditions the boys have to live in during the film. The estates are crowded, there's no jobs, no money, and therefore no future. The film could reach out to the public to make them do something about it. In City of God, the film gives off a voice to the people living in the favelas. The film represents how little life people in the favelas have. They don't have any education, all they know is drugs and violence. Similarities and differences between the two films. One of the similarities is drugs are the only job opportunity for the youth. They encounter the police more often than not. They are both trapped in their environments and receive no proper education. The difference is the banlieue is more communal, but in the favelas it isn't, and the youth cause a lot of conflict. The youth in the City of God are more violent than in Haine. Weapons are more accessible in the favela, and they're not as imposing or threatening as they are in Haine. And the people in the favelas are worse off than those in the banlieue. Both films show the frustration and anger that the people living in the centre of it all have to deal with. It does give the youth a voice, as both films are screaming at the audience as this is our lives, that's it. It provokes empathy in the audience as we yet to see what the children won't grow up to be. As in Haine, the kids will grow up with no money, no education. The same with City of God, except with the favelas. The rise of gang, therefore, and gang warfare and drugs is all the children know.
In City of God, there doesn't seem to be any female involvement in gang warfare. This also applies to Haine, where we see no women in the groups of the banlieue boys. The central characters in City of God, all Haine, are women. In City of God, Lil Z rapes Knockout Ned's girlfriend to humiliate him. The girlfriend remains unnamed and seems to be the only to act as a plot device to begin the war between Ned and Lil Z. The male characters in both films show traditional stereotypes of masculinity and strive to earn the respect of other male characters. Women seem to be the victim of a lot of sexual jokes and sexual admiration from Vince, Hubert and Saeed in Haine. A key scene from Haine is the altercation between Saeed, Vince and Hubert as the Parisian women in the art gallery. Women are also sexual objects in City of God, and Rocket often talks about his desperation to lose his virginity, and Lil Z rapes Knockout Ned's girlfriend.